Happy Sunday. Welcome back to Kevin Toll Reads, where I am doing my weekly wrap up from this past week. So let's dive right into this thing and talk about books I read this past week. Well, as you probably are aware, I finally finished The Veiled Throne by Ken Liu. I gave this a 4.6 out of 5. It's taken me more than what I thought it would take, but it was a great book. I finished it. I'm really glad that I got it done. I also read 2 short stories this past week. I read Blood Drive from John Grisham's collection, Ford County Stories. Gave it a 4.5 out of 5. And I read Game Over from the collection Death Comes Too Late by Charles Arty. I thought this was really good as well. I gave it a 4.3. I also started, because a lot of you have been begging me to start this, but I started The Black Echo, Michael Conley, book number 1, the Harry Bosch series. I read about 200 pages yesterday. And so I'm about halfway through this thing. I anticipate either finishing it today or tomorrow. So be on the lookout for a review this week of this book, which leaves me with The Scoreless Tie, which is book 4 in the Evan Tanner series. I need to read it. Should be a quick read for me, just about 220 pages. So I should knock that out this week as well. And then that will lead into having no books on my TBR, but January is coming. So we'll talk about what I'm going to be reading pretty soon. And so in terms of reading this past week, average score was a 4.5. It was a great reading week, and I'm glad I got The Veiled Throne done. In terms of videos this past week, I did 9, and I did 2 shorts. I did a What Are You Reading Wednesday, and I did a kind of a quick update short as well. I did my book review of The Veiled Throne, my Saturday shorts. I did a From the Shelves about the book The Snowman by Joe Nesbo. I did a tag video. If you haven't checked that out, you should. I got another book mail. Obviously, that was a big highlight from last week. I got a really nice edition of Jurassic Park from Christina Winikoff. Thanks, Christina. I really appreciate that. It's back here on my shelf if you can't see it. But it's great. I really, really am over the moon about that, so I appreciate that. I did another entry in Sherlock Holmes. I did The Scandal in Bohemia. I did 2 top videos. I did my top books of 2024, and I did my top short stories of 2024. So I had a lot of video content last week. In terms of subscribers, comments, engagement, this one was a big week as well. Had a lot of new subscribers, had a lot of comments. So we're going to roll right through these. Faceless, Book Chat with Pat, Stephen Everett 7, Rowdy Player 1, Bing Lamb, Robert G, Reader of Books, Brian M.R. Pronic 1, The Bearded Book Beast, Colonel Mustard in the Library, Nicole's Bookish Nook, Elder Talk, Little Big Library, James Biddle 9789, Book Ramble, Josh Dean 5449, Professor X, Albert the Conjugator, Free Indeed 7720, Kelly Loves Books and Movies, Novel Insights, Odd Audie Online, Twice Born by Grace, McNulty Book Corral, Vince Corner, Trav's Bookshelf, Triumphal Reads, Ted Redenstead, Xanadu Castle, Christina Winikoff, Adventures in Literature, Storm Reads, Outer World Media, Just Dawn 6288, Read and Reread, Rob Ritz 1, Cobalt Dragon, Jess Bookgirl TV, Some Other Character, Secret Fire Books, Pulp Mortem, Lens 12, Hannah's Reading Corner, Must Read More, Jack Walter 5970, Gary Go, MB1DG, Aimer Fatey Love Your Fate, CG Rated Book, Still and Morris, Fainer 27, Shannon Shelf, My Mom, Eric's Bookshelf, Already Overbooked, Miss Ladybug 1974. Then I had a bunch of new subscribers. Joe Smith, Sue Logue Johnson, Krista O, and Erudite Adventure, Noni's Nest, R. Scott Wiley, Justine H., Storm Reads, Dawn Jones, Maria Quintino, Jenny Parks, and Diana S. Loftus. All new subscribers. Welcome, and wow, it was a busy week. In terms of comment of the week, I have 2. One is a video. Odd Audie Online did a video where he talks about his favorite book tube channels and just channels in general on YouTube, and I'm going to post a picture of that, and I'll put a link in the description below. You should check out Audie's video. Obviously, he gives me some credit. I think he's embellishing how influential I was, but it's nice to see folks, continuing on, because YouTube can be a daunting task, and it can be a selfless kind of task as well, and you have to stick with it. And so you should definitely check out his video. In terms of comment of the week, I might be biased, but I'm going with my mom. Her comment, after I did my weekly wrap-up last week, I talked about Faceless and his comment about giving me crap. And my mom put this comment up. She says, "I love you, Faceless." And I just kind of shook my head like, really, Mom? But yeah, that's comment of the week. Yeah, you gotta love moms. In terms of book-related news, I've been doing this for the past couple weeks. I'm going to continue to do so. I have a bunch of published booktubers that are subscribed to me, and I'm subscribed to them. Tim at Secret Fire Books is a published author, and he has his Mayhem and Magic duology. I'll post a picture of that for you all. Gary at the Tainted Tavern is also a published author. He wrote under the pen name Jack Martin and wrote some westerns. I have a picture of his Ballad of Delta Rose. You definitely might want to check that out. Nicole at Nicole's Bookish Nook is also a published author, and she has been posting posts on YouTube about some of her books, and one of them being the Midnight Detective Agency. I'll post a picture of that. Eric Wag is another published author. He wrote his Scarde series, The Wandering Sword. He has 2 books in that, and I'll post a picture of it. Mark at Book Ramble is another published author, and Mark spent time in the Navy, and he wrote 2 books about the Royal Navy, and I'll post a picture of those. Eric at Eric's Bookshelf. Eric's a tattoo artist, and he's wrote some books about tattooing, which I find interesting, and I will post a picture of that in his Amazon page. And then Thomas at McNulty Book Corral is a published author, and he's wrote several different westerns. His Wounded Outlaw books, he has 14 in that series, and I'm going to post a picture of those as well. Sue Jackson, another booktuber. Sue actually lives with a chronic illness, and she wrote a book about it. You should definitely check that out. It's called Finding a New Normal. And then Josh L. Dean, he goes under the handle Josh Dean 5449. He is a writer, and he wrote The Anubis Stone, which is available on Amazon, and I will post a picture of that as well. Definitely want to check out these authors, self-published authors, independent authors. They do a great job, and I definitely want to continue to market them because I think they deserve it, and I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for purchasing their books. That's one of the things, I plan on doing kind of a personal challenge of reading what I own, and if I'm going to make purchases, I want to make more strategic purchases in 2025, and I'm definitely going to invest in buying some of the books from the aforementioned YouTubers as well. So in terms of what am I reading this week, well, I'm going to read another Conan. I need to finish off this collection, which is The Coming of Conan the Cimmerian. Tim at Secret Fire Books says, hey, you need to read the Hyborian Age stuff that's in here, the notes and essays. And so I'm going to be reading it and doing a review this week about Conan. I'm also going to be finishing, like I said, The Black Echo, my first foray into Harry Bosch's universe. I'm enjoying what I've read so far. And then, like I mentioned, I'm going to read The Scoreless Tie, which is book 4 in the Evan Tanner series. That's my plans for this week. I definitely want to get those knocked out so I can roll into the start of many buddy reads. And the first one being Lonesome Dove, which we're going to be reading Rowdy Player One, some other character in Trav's bookshelf. We're all going to be reading Lonesome Dove, and I think the plan is to read about 25 chapters every couple weeks and do some live streams with these guys, so be on the lookout for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then I also have several other buddy reads lined up as well. I've got a buddy read with Josh at Already Overbooked. I've got a buddy read with Faceless. I've got a buddy read with Rowdy again. I got a buddy read with Ted Red instead. So my first 5 or 6 months of the year is pretty stacked in terms of reading. It's going to be a lot of buddy reads, so I'm really excited about that. In terms of upcoming videos, obviously we're going to have some book reviews this week. We're going to do another Saturday Shorts, and I'm going to have some really good ones this week. Definitely going to have a couple different videos. I'm going to do a video of my kind of year in review, and I'm going to do a video of my kind of priority reads, what's priority for 2025, so be on the lookout for that. I'm also going to do a tagged video. If you haven't checked out BioPhoenix at Xanadu Castle, he did an interesting tag type of video, kind of a would you rather type questions around book related topics, and I thought it was really cool, and so I'm definitely going to piggyback on that and do that video. And then I may have a miscellaneous video. I'm not really sure, but be on the lookout for that. Otherwise, it's going to be another busy week trying to make content and get ahead. And so a couple other things that I'm working on. I'm working on another Why You Should Read video. That's going to be on author Ken Liu. So I'm working on that. I'm also going to be rotating a couple channel updates. I'm going to be rotating the Sherlock and Conan's. Definitely doing both of them in the same week is just eating into reading time and other things. And so I'm going to start rotating 1 week Sherlock, 1 week Conan. So be on the lookout for that. My daughter just finished the third book in the Nightlark series. So Carly was reading that, and I was interested in having her on the channel to do a review of that book. I know nothing about it, but she was really invested in those books. And yeah, she was a tad disappointed in book 3 and how it ended. And so she wasn't for sure that she was going to be in the right mindset to do a review. But for Christmas, I got her the first book in ACOTAR, that series, which I know nothing about. But if she likes it, we might have Carly on the channel and do a little kind of Carly book review series where she does reviews on the ACOTAR books. So if you're interested in that, definitely drop me a comment below. I think she would be interested in doing that as well. And so that's kind of what's on the horizon, but I hope you're having a great week. It's been a fun week. I have a few days off this coming week around the New Year's holidays, and then it's back to work and back to reality. So I'm going to try to soak it all in, and I hope you are as well. And I will talk to you all on the next one. Thanks.